Hello, key workers. I hope you are all keeping well and safe. Thank you for everything that you're doing right now. I just wanted to ask you about your digestion, really. How has it been recently? Because under times of stress, the digestive system does take a massive blow, and we can find ourselves having more issues such as gas, bloating, constipation, just general sluggishness within the digestive tract. So, if any of that resonates with you, then I invite you to watch a small video I've created on how we can look after our digestion in times of stress. And along with that, some little tips on how we can also detoxify the body on a daily basis, because detoxification is a key part to how we can keep our health well and our digestion strong. I want to start by saying a massive thank you to all the key workers, NHS workers, and everyone that has been helping us get through this pandemic and super challenging time. My heart goes out to you all for all that you are doing right now. My name is Geri, and I am a Ayurvedic digestion and nutrition health coach. So I'll start by saying, what is Ayurveda? Because I think most of you won't have heard of it. Most people haven't. When I mention the word, they're like, never heard of that. What does that even mean? How do I even say it? So it's an ancient Indian holistic health system, and it's over 5,000 years old, so considered to be one of the eldest health systems in the world. It looks at mind, body and spirit when diagnosing a patient, so it's a really holistic approach, taking into consideration all every single aspect of their life. So I'm going to take a few bits of wisdom from Ayurveda and share them with you today that will help you keep your digestion strong and also help keep some toxins out, or remove some toxins out of your body, because the whole system with Ayurveda is about strong digestion and removing toxins. So to start with, food and digestion. Main thing to keep it healthy, I'm going to start with a really simple one, but is hot water. So ditch any cold drinks, any ice drinks. They are just going to send all the blood out of your digestive tract, and then there's going to be no blood left in the digestive tract for digesting your food. Especially, you guys, I'm sure, are like constantly on the move all day, and that's going to send blood automatically to your extremities, your hands and your feet. So automatically, there's not going to be much blood left then in the digestive tract. So as much as possible, we want to keep all that blood in there. So drinking hot water throughout the day is going to help just draw the blood back in. Because if you imagine putting your hand in an ice bucket, it's going to get cold, it's going to shiver, it's going to tense up, and the blood's going to draw out. That's exactly the same thing that happens to your stomach when we consume cold beverages. So that's a super easy one. Get a thermos, and then just keep some hot tea, hot drinks in there, and have them throughout the day. Some nice teas to also keep your digestive fire strong. So in Ayurveda we have this thing called Agni, and that is, it's the fire that burns up your food, assimilates it, and when digestion gets weak, the fire starts to go out. So we want to try and keep that fire strong. So things like ginger tea are really good, because obviously it's got that pungent quality. And then you can try some other herbal teas. So peppermint, good for any kind of gas and bloating. Cardamom, really good for food stagnation if you're feeling a bit sluggish. So those are ones that you can consider adding into your day. I will just quickly talk about coffee as well, because I know we are a nation that loves coffee, and I know a lot of people do rely on that morning cup to get them going. So I'm going to suggest a way to make your coffee less aggravating for the body, because naturally coffee is a stimulant and it is aggravating. That's why sometimes when you have a cup of coffee you need to go to the bathroom, because it's literally irritated your internal intestines so much that it just wants to be removed. So that's why it promotes bowel movement. So to counterbalance this a little bit, you can try adding a spoon of coconut oil into your coffee, because coconut oil is nourishing, grounding, and it's going to help balance out those stimulant and aggravating qualities that the coffee bring. So that can be a kind of nice way to help ease you into the day without that massive shock. So you can try giving that a go if you are a morning coffee person. You might also be a person that skips breakfast but still has the coffee, in which case that doing it with a bit of oil is also going to help give you that little boost of energy. Coconut oil is also a medium chain triglyceride, which means it goes straight into the bloodstream, so it doesn't need to get processed by digestion to give you the energy. So that will mean that it gives you that instant boost, and you'll be good and ready to go. So one other thing I will talk about is hot food. Along the similar lines as hot drinks, hot food is also going to promote that blood to the digestive tract and just help with digestion. Whereas cold food, the body needs to heat it back up to body temperature before it can digest, just using more energy that we want to preserve right now. Adding some warming spices is also going to help keep that digestive fire strong. So things like coriander, fennel, cardamom, turmeric, ginger, black pepper, they are all just going to help kindle digestion. So adding those into your cooking will be a really great way to consume some of them. Soups, amazing, really easy to digest. So if you're not having long for your lunch break, and you don't want to have that heavy, sluggish feeling after you finish eating lunch, then soups are really nice because they are nourishing, they're hot, and you won't get sluggish feeling. So maybe seeing if you can get a loved one to make you a soup with some lovely, nice warming spices, that would be amazing. Having foods like rice, oatmeal, lentils are all really good. Sweet potatoes, root veggies are going to give you that stable energy that you need at lunchtime to help get you through the afternoon, because a lot of the time that's when we want to reach for some sugary snacks. So making sure you've got some grains or root vegetables in your lunch will just help alleviate that. Now I'm going to talk about how we can be removing toxins from our body on a daily basis. Just a few methods that are really easy and won't take long in the mornings. So firstly, tongue scraping. So this word sounds really unsexy, but bear with me. In the mornings you wake up with morning breath, and that is because the body has started to detoxify itself, and then part of that is showing up on the tongue. So what we want to be doing is removing that with a tongue scraper, or if you don't have a tongue scraper, you can use a metal spoon, and then just running that on your tongue from back to front 10 times to just help remove that film that's been built up overnight. Because if we don't do that, then what will happen is the toxins just get reabsorbed back through the tongue and into the body. I will just point out that brushing your tongue isn't very helpful, because it tends to the bristles just tend to push the toxins back down into the tongue, causing them to be reabsorbed as well. So that's why either a spoon or a tongue scraper is your best method to do this. So you can do that either before or after you brush your teeth. Then after you've brushed your teeth, tongue scraped, we can then move on to oil pulling. So oil pulling, again, another one that you'll be like, what is that? But oil pulling is another way to remove some toxins out of the mouth, and it's going to help remove some oil soluble toxins, because obviously we get our water soluble and then we get our oil soluble. So the water ones can help, they get removed from brushing our teeth, but then the oil ones might be still lingering in there, because oils repel water. If you ever pour water in with oil, you just see it float on the top. But oil and oil they'll stick together because it's like a knife. So when we do the oil pulling, it's helping grab onto those oil soluble toxins and then expel them out of the body. So taking a spoon of coconut oil and then just pop it in your mouth and start to swish it around so it melts. And then if you're new to the practice, starting say with a minute, and then you can start to build up over time to say 20 minutes. And no, you don't get calories from doing this because you are expelling it out, you're not swallowing anything. So you won't gain calories if that is anyone's concern, because I know people do worry about that. So I normally do this once I brush my teeth and everything, and then I have a shower, and I do it at the same time, because otherwise you don't want to be standing just in front of your bathroom sink for 20 minutes doing it. So you can either do that, go make a tea, so you can be doing 2 things at once, so it doesn't feel like you're just wasting your time. Then a little bit of movement I'm going to quickly discuss as well, because I think movement is a key part to wake the body up in the morning. We've just been sleeping all night, so everything's been really still. Some people in particular might wake up feeling a little bit more stagnant and have a hard time waking the body up. So this kind of part is more vital and important for you, because how we start the day is how we are going to feel for the rest of the day. So we always want to make sure that we are starting the day in the best way possible, to help us have the best day possible. So this practice, you can do it for a minute, 2 minutes, up to you, but it would just be deep breathing into the belly, and then starting to swing your arms from side to side. Watch the video on the side to understand what I'm talking about a little bit more. But as you breathe in fully, as you inhale, use your breath to guide the movement of your arms. So you'll start to open up through the chest, through the shoulders. You're going to be twisting through your abdominal area, so that will help with any flushing and wringing out of the internal organs of the digestive tract, to help remove any stagnation that might be there. Any trapped wind is also going to be wringed out. And then you can start to move your feet and open your hips up a little bit more, which is going to open up through the hips a little further as well. So this is all really nice to opening up the front side of the body, because I think especially when we get tired, throughout the day, you might start to hunch over a little bit, and we start to collapse through the front. So this is helping open everything up again. And then doing so will just help increase our inhalation to our lungs and to our belly. And also, when we do hunch, we tend to squash our digestive organs. So this is just going to help open everything up and increase blood flow there as well. Then lastly, evenings. So I'm sure by the time the evening comes around, you're exhausted and really tired. You might be having that feeling of wired brain but exhausted body. So I think that can be quite common when you've been like go all day. Like your mind had to just be like action, and then you come home and it's kind of hard to then like switch off your mind. So coming home, lighting some candles, dimming your lights, because that automatically is going to help the body wind down, because melatonin, so our sleep hormone, only gets produced when the light level starts to drop. So that's why light level is important in the evenings. Maybe lighting some candles with incense, with a smell, or put some incense or diffuser. Just aromatic smells can also help relax and wind down. Having a nice relaxing tea, so like a rose tea, chamomile tea, are just going to help wind down as well. And then doing something that's going to help put your body into a parasympathetic nervous state, so that's your rest and digest state. So that could just be a few rounds of deep breathing like we did in the morning, but this time you can just sit, say, on a chair, or on the sofa, on the floor, just really focusing on the breath, breathing into the belly. That will just help really calm the mind and the body down. If you haven't really done this before, then it's sort of nice to focus on the breath to begin with, and you can notice any sensations in the body at the same time. So that's sort of where your focus is at. You can also do a little bit of stretching if that feels good for you. I know that you're probably tired, so you won't want to be doing much, but a little bit of movement can be sort of nice in the evening to kind of take your mind away from other things. Or having a go at some self-massage. So in Ayurveda we call this abhyanga. Even just massaging your hands will be really nice, as we just tend to hold a lot of tension in the hands, but we don't really give them any love ever. So it could just be like a hand massage for yourself. It could be a little foot massage, shoulders. Sometimes we don't really notice that we've got tension in areas because we don't ever really touch around the body to see what's going on. So this is a really nice way to just tune in and also relax yourself and help remove some stress out of the body. and prepare you for sleep, because the whole point of the evenings is to wind down, to get ready for bed, so that we are then able to go to bed preferably by 10 o'clock, and then sleep through the night. So being in bed at 10 o'clock is also a key part of Ayurveda, as if we stay up past 10 o'clock, then we tend to get a second wind of energy. That's when you might want to have late night snacking. That's when you might want to start doing a random job that's been on your mind but you haven't got around to it, and then you're all of a sudden like, oh, I feel awake again, and you start to do that thing. It's because the body's woken up again, and we want to be using that energy really to detoxify the body, because it's between hours of 10 p.m. and 2 p.m. that the body starts to detoxify. So we want to be sleeping then, so that the body can do its job and help remove what it doesn't need from the body, as otherwise it can't do this process. So that is the last thing to keep in mind when going through your day. So that was my short little video for you all. I hope there were some parts in there that you found helpful and that resonated with you. Any other questions about anything I've spoken, you can find me at Wholesome Ayurveda, on my website, on my Instagram. I do one-on-ones with people, consultation work, and also I do run courses on Ayurveda and how to incorporate it into your life. If it's something that you are interested in and you want to take to the next level of really understanding how to support yourself through diet and lifestyle. So thank you all. Keep well and safe, and sending all the love as always.